Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second December installment of the Coaching Seat TV with Toyinda LaShea, where we're all about sitting in our seat of authority so that the kingdom citizens can be infused with the power to dominate confidence, unleash potential, and leave a legacy. Now, these things are accomplished through extracting limiting beliefs, distractions, and interferences. I am Toyinda LaShea, a prophetess, a best-selling author, business consultant, master coach, public speaker, mentor, and a threat to hell's kingdom. Now, in this installment, I am so excited because in the studio we have pastor, prophetess, and coach Kimberly King. Coach Kimberly is an educator. She's the leader at Restoration Word Ministry. She's a wife, a mother, and the founder of Center for Hope, which is a nonprofit organization that's established to grow, support, and develop youth. Prophetess Kimberly is known for reviving, restoring, and rebuilding people in the community and in the body of Christ. Welcome, Coach Kimberly King. How are you today?
I am well, and yourself?
I am wonderful. I'm
Good,
wonderful.
good.
I'm so happy that you are joining me in the studio today. I'm so interested in just hearing about how you're using coaching in ministry and just really hearing your story.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
All
I am
right.
excited to be here.
All right, well, let's get it then. So, who is Coach Kimberly King?
I am a country girl that just love God for real. Not only am I a pastor, but I'm a special education teacher at the high school in my area. I am one that is constantly in the community. I love community research. A community involvement.
Yes.
I just love God, and I just love doing ministry for God.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about community involvement. So that tells me that you're making impact. And I know you're making impact. What type of community involvement have you been participating in?
Well, we do twice a month. We do feeding the elderly in the community. Also, we have services weekly now outside for the community. Not only are we doing that, but we have also the Restoration House, where we have non-perishable food items, as well as gently used clothing and gently used furniture that we give to those that are in need.
I love that. I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's huge for the community. About how many people are in the community?
We have about maybe 400 to 500 people there, if not more,
Okay.
in that area.
Okay, that's awesome. How did you get into being a special education teacher?
Well, everything about me comes with a story. I started out as a teacher's aide.
Okay.
And I was in my classroom one day, and I heard God say, go back to school, go through the PACE program.
Listen. When God speaks, we listen.
Yes, ma'am, we have to listen.
Okay.
And so when he said, go through the PACE program, I'm like, God, you know I don't take tests well. So what am I to do? And so he had me to reach out to the human resource person at that time.
Okay.
And I asked her about the PACE program. And everybody that I heard, they told me terrifying stories about the program. And so I was like, no, God, I can't do that. And but I did. And so she called me during the summer, and she was like, Miss King, have you thought about the PACE program? I said, I just asked you about the PACE program. And she said, well, I need you to go take the test. And
Yes.
I am not a good test taker. I'm not. And so I said, okay. And I went to take the test, and I studied and I studied and I prayed.
Yes.
And if you know anything about the PACE program, it's very, very difficult. Not many people pass the test on the very first try.
But when you have God,
But when you have
pushing
God,
you, okay, come on through. Yes.
when you have God, and when you have people that you can call on and say, listen, I got a test before me, and I need you to join me in prayer. And so when I went there, I had to take 2 tests this particular day. And I went there, and I took the test, and by the grace of God, I passed both tests on the very first try. And I owe God
I love it.
all of the praise because I know that I could not do it without him.
Yeah, God is so awesome and amazing, and especially since we are serving Him, we are
Yes.
committed to Him.
Yes.
He looks out for the
Yes.
people that looks out for Him.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to, we've been talking about God, and we've been talking about the Lord and how wonderful He is. How did you move into the pastoralship?
Ooh.
Just open up the can. Let's just open up the can here.
I've been in church ever since I've been 6 years old.
Okay.
And I've had encounters with God, and some things that I've encountered with God, people would think I'm actually crazy
Wow.
or lying.
Wow.
But I've always had the love for God. And so when my former bishop passed and my pastor took over, that was something that she would always say to me: you will be a minister until God calls you to the pastorate. And my answer was always, that's not me.
My goodness.
That
My
is not
goodness.
me. That's not me. I know God is not calling me to pastor, so I'm not even worried about that. But in the meantime, while she is saying, yes, you are, I'm saying, no, I'm not. God is showing me in dreams, oh, yes, you are.
Listen.
And so when I had that unction, and there were some people that I reached out to, and they said, that's what's on you.
Wow.
But when I called my grandmother,
Wow.
and she said, God said for you to do it, and you got to do it.
Wow.
And I said, okay, Grandma, I hear you. And it wasn't until that night when I had that dream, and it was like God said, you're going to either do it or go to hell.
Oh my. Oh
And
my.
so I went to church the next Sunday, and I told her I got to do it.
Yeah.
I got to do it. And it wasn't easy, and it's not easy. But I trust God with everything in me.
Right.
I trust him with everything in me. So if he says pastoring, that's what I'm going to do. And I thank God that I have now been pastoring for 5 years.
Wow, I love this, and congratulations
Thank
on
you.
5 years.
You.
I was at the
Yes.
celebration, and
Yes,
so it was such an
ma'am.
honor
Yes,
to
ma'am.
honor you and Elder Corey. That was wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
It was wonderful. What I heard you say is that number one, you had to trust God. Like even because you didn't see yourself in that space, I still had to trust God. And then you also had wise counsel.
Yes.
Right? And so even as a coach, even as a pastor, prophetess, we need wise counsel,
Yes.
and we need to be able to trust God.
Yes. Yes.
What caused you to join the Champion Influence Coach Certification Program?
I told you a few minutes ago,
Everything
everything that comes with me comes with a story. So I was doing the laying down one day, and I heard God say, take the coaching class. And so I went online and I started, researching to see what it was about.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And an evangelist, one of the evangelists from the church, she actually was getting ready to go through the program.
Yes.
And I called her and I said, what is the coaching? And she said, what you're doing now, Pastor.
Yes.
And so I said, well, I heard God said for me to do this. And she said, okay, let's do it.
Yes.
And so I did, and I signed up. And but the day that I was getting ready to do it, everything that could go wrong.
Don't do it. Don't do it, prophetess. Don't do it.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong that day. And so I told my leaders, I said, I'm not doing it. They said, you already paid your money? I said, yes, I'll gift it to somebody else. And they was like, no, you have to go.
Yeah.
And that class, that weekend, changed my entire life. When you talk about a boost, when you talk about a shift, when you talk about a push, that's what that. And I don't like to call it a class. I like to call it an encounter.
An encounter, wow.
Because that was an encounter for me. And everybody that I encounter now, I say, y'all need to go through this class.
Wow.
Especially if they are pastors and leaders.
Wow, and I love that. So I'm just processing what you're sharing with me. Number one, you said you heard the voice of the Lord.
Yes.
And, in every juncture or dispensation in the Bible, it's about hearing the voice of the Lord. Because when we hear the voice, My God, I want to listen. I want to run right now.
Right now.
But when we hear the voice
Yes.
of the Lord,
Yes.
that's where abundance comes.
Yes.
That's where the blessings flow. Just
Yes.
hearing my sheep know my voice.
Yes,
Ooh,
ma'am.
God,
Yes,
let me
ma'am.
come
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
Let me
Yes,
pull it back
ma'am.
in.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I think that coaching is an amazing tool for pastors. You're a pastor. You're using it inside of your congregation. We've had other ministry leaders come through the coaching program, and it's a true benefit because as pastors, right? And I'm on a leadership team. I'm not a pastor. I'm on a leadership team. But what happens is we're used to telling people what to do, not in a negative way,
Yes.
directing, mentoring, guiding. But why not ask a question? Right? So that I can take ownership
Yes.
for my behavior, my thoughts, and my actions.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. So I know that you're the founder of Restoration Word Ministries. What's the mission or the vision for the church?
The mission and the vision is to restore, rebuild, and revive.
Yes.
It's going to sound crazy, but when we first knew that God was calling us, and I said we, I mean my husband and I.
Yes.
God actually gave him the church,
Listen, come on, Lord.
and He gave him the name.
Yes.
But He gave me the plan to execute it.
I love it. And that's how it
So-
is. That not the order?
Yes,
Come
ma'am.
on.
Yes, ma'am. So when we decided, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to step out on faith, what we talked about was we know where we came from.
Yes.
He came from being incarcerated,
Yes.
and I came from a line of abuse and
Wow.
neglect.
Wow.
And so we know what it means to be hurt. We know what it means to be broken. We know what it means to almost be in the coffin.
My.
But
My.
when God gives you an assignment, so we don't look at it as a job. We don't look at it as, this is something that we got to do. But we look at it as this is our assignment. And we need to help people get past or get through what we've been through. No, everybody won't have the same story, but we know what it means to rebuild you.
Woo.
We know what it means to revive you, and we know what it means to restore you.
Yes.
And even though we had that understanding, it was not until we got into the water
Come on.
and got our feet wet to really understand it's more than just rebuilding and reviving, but it's also restoring them back to the place where God wants them.
Right. And listen, in our next broadcast, I want to talk about the reviving, the rebuilding, and the restoring. My name is Toyinda LaShea, and you've been watching the Coaching Seat TV. Hi, everybody. I am Toyinda LaShea, and I'm so excited to share with you 4 services that I provide. The first service is the International Champion Influence Coach Certification Program, where we certify professionals so that they can strategically help others and enter the coaching industry with confidently. The second service is the Champion Influence Coaching and Leadership Curriculum. This is a curriculum that allows individuals to grow and expand their leadership skills. The third service that we provide is the Champion Influence Create Champion Conversations public speaking course. It's a 5-week online public speaking course that helps individuals to become confident and engaging public speakers. And the last service that we provide is the Coaching Seat Continuing Education Platform Membership. This is a membership site that allows fresh and new coaches to strengthen their coaching posture and walk in confidence in the coaching industry. Everybody, I am Toyinda LaShea. I'm the creator of the Champion Influence Coach Certification Program, and I've created some Champion Influence coaching flashcards. Now, these flashcards are for coaches who want to create a confident coaching conversation. There's 55 questions that you can ask your coachee to build a confident conversation. You can find them at www.thecoachingseat.com.